Great morning, great morning, great morning. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope you can. I hope you can. I am so happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I tell you, if you don't hear it, you'll hear it at least 3 times in a week. All right? I'm happy and grateful for life because I truly believe that if we can be happy and grateful just for another day, we will take this journey. We'll have this journey. We'll look at it in a different perspective. And I believe in that perspective, we'll be able to look at one another a different way. All right. So I am happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for another opportunity just to be able to right my wrongs, to deal with Nicole, no one else, just me. Because I understand that there is enough in and of myself to deal with that I just really don't have time to look at anything else. But so I want us to, we're still on the self-confidence formula. By faith, I just believe that you guys you have your self-confidence formula. You're looking at it every day. You're speaking it to yourself. And today I want to go over, Wednesday we did number 1. So today I want us to do number 2. Okay. And number 2 is the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person that I intend to become, thereby creating my mind a clear mental picture. Okay. So what I want to do is, because words that stick out to me, I want to share. And so we have to first come into the realization. All right. So dominating, it says the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves. So what are your dominating thoughts? Okay. What are you thinking about the most? Are they negative thoughts or are they positive thoughts? Okay. What's consuming your mind? Are you thinking about, we're now into a new year. So even today, we're on the 8th day of January. Are you still thinking about the negative things that have happened to you or the things that you felt that did not go your way in 2020? Like, what is the dominating thoughts? And you have to be careful if they are negative, because the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in an outward physical action. So if you're thinking of things that are negative, it's going to reproduce. If it's reproducing, then that means that negative thought has already produced an outward action in you. All right. So if you've thought about something that was negative and you got angry at someone, I'm sure you went off. All right. So if you're still thinking about it, it's going to reproduce. This is why you got to make sure your dominating thoughts are positive, not negative. Why do I say I am so happy and grateful now? I don't always feel happy and grateful, but every day I'm intentional to say I am happy and grateful now for another day, because I really am, because someone doesn't have today. And now that I've said it enough, it's beginning to shift my mindset. So if everything is chaotic around me, I am still happy and grateful now for another day. It already begins to shift my mindset. The dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce itself. Okay? It will reproduce happy and grateful days for me because I'm intentional to continue to believe it. Now, because, I tell you guys, everything goes back to the book. So as a man thinketh, so is he. Okay? Dominating thoughts. What are you thinking about most? It's going to reproduce. So Reproduction, you got to understand, it starts from a mental standpoint. Our actions, they come from our thoughts, okay? So you have to make sure that you're intentional to make your dominating thoughts positive daily, okay? The dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Now, why did I pull out gradually? That is not the Texas swing, okay? Gradually. It's our process, all right? Let me see what I wrote about that. Gradually, it's the process of becoming your thought. It's never what we go through, it's how we get through it. When something happens, you have to make a decision. This is why I keep telling y'all, we got to learn how to think the next thought, okay? Why? Because our thoughts become our actions. Actions become reality, all right? Someone do something to you. The first thing is you thinking, no, she didn't. I just know she didn't just do that. It's a thought, all right? What comes from that thought? You either gonna produce, I'm gonna ignore her, or you're gonna produce, I'm about to I'm 360, I'm about to black out, okay? It's your thought. But whatever that is, it's gonna become a reality, all right? If you choose to ignore, you're gonna walk away peacefully. If you choose to black out, you about to get it in. It's gonna be an argument. It's gonna be an explosion. Okay? You gotta understand that thoughts become action. The action becomes your reality. All right? This is good. I like number 2. So when we talk about gradually, it's the process of becoming your thoughts, which is why you have to allow your dominating thoughts to be the affirmations that you're speaking over your life. Remember, we should be brain dumping at night. Brain dumping, getting everything off of our mind. Write it out, get it out of you so that you can rest peacefully. You wake up, you do your to-do list from that. Why? Just because now you can get clear, because you've spent your spiritual time, you've done your affirmations, your mindset in a different place. Now you can work on your to-do, okay? This is why we do it. And like I said, you have to know, as a man thinketh, so is he. What do you think about yourself? I didn't ask you, what do you believe about yourself? I said, what do you think about yourself? I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am prosperous. For you all who have been with me, at the point of January, do you believe that you are healthy, you're wealthy, you're prosperous? If you don't fully believe it, do you at least think about it every day? Are you saying it? If you say it, it's going to become your dominating thought, okay? So we become what we think about. But we have to remember, well, let me get through this. We can get this, okay? So the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in an outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Second part, each of them got 2 parts. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person that I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture. I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task. I concentrate on being healthy, wealthy, and prosperous every day. I concentrate on that, okay? Because what you will begin to understand is everything that you do with yourself, because we think about it in the natural and the physical, but you got to understand that there's a spiritual aspect of success. You got to do the spiritual part, all right? The spiritual part is what's going to manifest the physical. So you have to have faith in it. You gotta have faith in it. You gotta use your 5 senses to increase your belief and your desire so that it'll manifest. It'll come to pass. It'll come. You'll walk it out naturally. however you want to describe it. But you have to understand that it's a faith, it's spiritual first, okay? So this also, when you start changing your mindset and your thoughts, it is not about material and physical things. Okay? When you get a mental picture, you are not a car. You are not a house. Okay? Your dominating thoughts are about you. If you believe you are wealthy, what does wealthy look like? Now, yes, it'll produce the outward effect of whatever your dream home is and whatever your dream car is and all of those things. But understand that your wealth, it starts inside. And because you're wealthy inside, it just produces. You begin to produce because everything that your hand touch, it'll prosper. So then the wealth comes into these tangible things. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right. So when you get this mental picture that it's saying, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture, that clear mental picture is of you. All right. That clear mental picture of me being wealthy, healthy, and prosperous is of me. Because in this process of self-confidence, I'm going to change. All right? I'm going to change. And I'm going to understand that it's about me. That car doesn't define me. If I'm driving a Ford Focus or if I'm driving a Bentley truck, that doesn't stop me from being wealthy. Okay? One doesn't dictate my wealth because it comes from inside. Okay? So when you get this clear mental picture of who you are, you got to understand it's you. All right? It's you healthy. It's you in a humble posture. It's you in a positive place. It's you that's standing in this posture. And because you are positive, because you are exciting, because you are happy, your environment is going to be that. All right? So that's where it goes back to your thoughts becoming actions, becoming realities. It's just gonna happen. All right? We gotta believe this. You gotta have faith to believe this. All right? So the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves. Gradually. Allow this self-confidence formula to work, over your journey. All right? Y'all are gourmet meal. You 5-star gourmet meal. You're not a little microwave fix, okay? You're not a hot pocket. All right? You worth more. You are more. So don't carry yourself like that. And don't expect a microwave fix. All right? You the 5-course meal. You think about it. When you go to an elegant restaurant, I'll be honest with y'all. Maybe elegant restaurants are nice, but I leave hungry. I don't know. They have 5-course meals and they break up. It's a process, okay? But they're little. Sometimes you need a little appetizer and I don't know. But I'm saying that to say, be willing to eat a bite at a time. All right? Just take this, eat it a bite at a time. Don't feel like it's got to be like this. All right? You got the process. So you are worth that. I don't know how y'all cook your roast, but I love to make a roast where I put the fire up for an hour on like 450. I cook the meat through, right? I flip it, throw some butter on top, cover it back up, and I let that thing cook for hours. It's the process. It's through that process that the meat gets tender. It's through the process that the seasoning and the flavor goes through it all. Then when you get it, I start in the morning for it to be ready for dinner. We got to be okay to go through this gradually. All right. You got to invest time in yourself. I think that's what's wrong with us. We don't invest enough time in ourselves. We can invest time into a job. We can invest time into people, but we do not take the time to invest in ourselves long enough, okay? Because it's the process that's going to produce the change. It's the process, all right? So the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture. How do you see yourself in 3 years? How do you see yourself in 5 years? What is the position that you're going to be in to help your family? What do you see? This is the vision. These are the things that you have to write down and you have to keep in front of you. I told you, if it's a vision board, if it's digital, if it's pictures, your screen saver, whatever it is, you got to write it down. You got to make it plain. Write the vision, make it plain. Okay. You got to see it. And then you have to invest at least 30 minutes into yourself daily. It's not about nothing or no one else. It's about you. Okay. 30 minutes daily to the task of thinking of the person I intend to become. I spend 30 minutes at least of what wealth looks like for me, what health looks like for me. Because at 47, there have already been health challenges. But what does healthy look like for me? Okay. What does prosperity look like for me? Because for every person is different. Every person is different. When I think of wealth, I'm a gadget person. Okay. So most wealthy, we have this picture of the house and the cars and all these things. And it comes with wealth. It's an outward show of who and what you are. But when I think of wealthy, it's almost like, that's Siri. It's almost like my thoughts, man, I have all like these electronics of what I know I would have and what my media room would look like. When I think of it, it's not necessarily the house, it's the room. I know what the room will look like. That's going to be my space, my she cave. Like, what does wealth look like for you when you're in that state? And those are the things that you have to be able to create in your mind, a clear mental picture. You got to see it. You got to see it. You have to be able to see it for yourself. And then that's where your 5 senses come in to help with your belief. You see the Bentley, go test drive the Bentley. Okay. Up until this last year, up until 2020, I was always the one, like, I even to this day, like, I don't like to shop because back in the day, I didn't have the money to shop. I didn't have the money to kind of like splurge on clothes and things like that. So I never got into it. I used to always tell my friends, like, I don't want to be a window shopper, right? I don't want to be a window shopper. But then when I started being true to myself, it wasn't that I didn't want to be a window shopper. I love looking at those things. I didn't have self-control. Because I didn't have self-control, I would see it, I would want it, and I would get it. It didn't matter if it was my bill money or whatever else. So it wasn't that I couldn't be a window shopper. I didn't have self-control with my money. Okay. Again, 20 years later, I can admit that. But at that time, I didn't see it like that. All right. As you begin to go through this self-confidence formula, as you begin to be true to yourself, as you begin to get a clear mental picture of who and what you believe your purpose is and where you fit in this journey, your habits will begin to change. Because your thoughts are going to begin to change. You're going to begin to see yourself differently. You'll begin to look at life differently. You'll begin to, it'll all change. It's changing for me. So 2020 was the first time I'm like, you know what? This is what I see. I'm going to go test drive it. Because when my 2011 Rogue finally gives up the ghost and I decided, y'all who know my stuff with my little Rogue, I fixed her. I'm going to pick her up today. You know, the reality is what I've invested in her, probably, you know, it's not worth her value, but she's valuable to me. Okay. But it's like, what do we see? So it's different for everybody. But I do know when I get rid of her, whenever I have to let the Rogue go, I know what I'm going into. And it's what I see. It's so much further than what I right now may believe I can have. But I by faith, I'm believing it because I'm understanding how to have vision for what I see wealth, health, and prosperity is. Okay. So dominating thoughts. And start off with your affirmations. I am happy and grateful now. I'm happy and grateful now. I'm happy and grateful now. I'm happy and grateful now. Okay? Because I don't know what I'm going to feel later. But if I don't feel that way, I know to go back to I'm happy and grateful now. All this, dominating thoughts. So the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture. So I encourage you. And like I said, you know, read the self-confidence formula, all 5 every day. You don't have to wait for us to go, you know, and break down each one together. I just want to take the time to do that. But definitely read it. Feed your spirit with it. Believe it. Write it down where you see it. Give yourself more than 30 days or 30 minutes daily. But at a minimum, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Take that quiet time to make this come alive for you. Okay? Again, I am Nicole D. Jones. I thank you. I don't take it for granted or take it lightly. I am very happy and grateful that you take the time to plug in with me just for me to drop a couple Nikki nuggets. I'm just trying to share with you the process that I'm in, that we can have some accountability for one another, to just encourage each other. Because I do believe that we are healthy, we are wealthy, we are prosperous. Everything that our hands go to touch, it has to prosper and grow because that is who we are. Okay? Have a fantabulous day on purpose, and I will see you guys on Monday. Smooches.